Hey guys, welcome back. Listen, I'm a little late to the party on this one. I was waiting for further developments before I did a video on it, before we discussed it. But as of now, there are none. So we're gonna head over to Chicago, discuss this Dexter Reed case, and which is making national news, and we're gonna break it down. And so here we
roll
go.
the window down. What are you doing?
Roll this one down.
Roll that one down too.
This one down.
Hey,
So
don't roll the window up.
See, now they approached the car. From the angle I see, and the other angles that I saw, no one had their guns out initially. Now, this is a street crime unit. They're plain clothes, but they approach this vehicle. And he starts to roll the window down, as you can see, and then he starts to roll it back up. As a police officer, that'll send your blood pressure so high. The fear factor that kicks in, or the agitation that kicks in when a person does that, that only signifies one thing, and that he's trying to hide something. He's going to take off, or he's going to take a shot. One of those three, and you'll see what happens.
Don't roll the window up.
Okay.
Do not roll the window up.
Now the gun comes out.
Lock the doors now. Unlock the doors now.
Go ahead.
Unlock the doors now. Open the door now. Open the door now. Open the door now. 1164 David, shots fired, shots fired. Hey! Hey!
Now, for those of you who don't know, he shot first. He shot the officer. So we have an officer hit, and then the other officers duck for cover and return fire. Now, the issue here is apparently 96, if I'm not mistaken, or 90-something shots fired. We'll get the exact number shortly.
Shots were indeed fired, 96 of them over the course of just 41 seconds. The head of the Civilian Office of Police Accountability said central to their investigation moving forward is to examine the propriety of that traffic stop. Again, the reason given is that it was an individual, Mr. Reed, not wearing a seatbelt. That is the video from the body-worn camera of the officer. Let's move to a camera angle from across the street, which shows this from a different angle. Again, the central question is who fired first. Copa says it was Mr. Reed. We are going to hear from Mr. Reed's family on that matter coming up at noontime today. They're holding a press conference. The state's attorney says by the end of this week, her office hopes to interview the officers involved. One of those 5 officers critically involved in all of this remains hospitalized. Mayor Johnson saying if not for the grace of God, that officer could have been killed if that bullet struck just a few inches away. Let's listen.
All right, so that's that. So we're going to go to the press conference where the family speaks.
Today, Mayor Brandon Johnson called the body camera video deeply disturbing.
It weighs heavily on me that this event took place just blocks away from my own community. And it is not lost on me that both Dexter Reed and this officer could have been my students.
The mayor taught at Westinghouse College Prep, the same high school Dexter Reed graduated from.
Our Sabrina Franza continues our coverage now. Sabrina, you spoke to Reed's family today.
We did, and that was just after saying their final goodbyes to Dexter Reed on Friday. They were finally able to watch that video you just saw yesterday showing his death. They're now calling for police reform and for accountability.
I just miss my son. I'm hurt. I'm sick. I feel like I've been shot.
Roll this one down.
Roll that one down too.
Dexter Reed's mother, after listening to 96 shots fired in 41 seconds, killing her son.
My insides is burning up. Why they did that to my son?
Dexter Reed was 26 years old. He played basketball at Westinghouse College Prep before later playing for Morton College. His dream was to one day be a broadcaster. His mom said he had just bought the car he was driving in when police pulled him over.
He had just bought his new car 3 days before.
Did he buy the gun the same time,
Mama?
Mama?
Riding around in his car.
Like I said, I'm going to be mindful of what I say because she lost her son. She lost her son. And parents, as we know, should never bury their children. But You know, these are situations some of these young men put themselves in. When you shoot at the police, it's only gonna go bad. It's only gonna go bad. You know.
He said, "Mom, going for a ride."
Now his family is calling for the city to disband their tactical units working on the city's south and west sides.
That's another thing. Now they're calling them disbanded tactical units. These are street crime units that are highly necessary in the streets of Chicago. Chicago, Illinois, they stack body bags every weekend like it's Vietnam over there. If you don't believe me, just check the statistics. I'm sure you guys know all about it. You know, I wrote some of the stuff down. 136 homicides so far this year. That's just homicides. That's not even shootings. 617 last year. 617 homicides last year, and 709 in 2022. So they dropped about 100 last year, but 136 so far. Everybody got guns in Chicago, so you need a street crime. I'm telling you, show me a city like Chicago or any major city that doesn't have a street crime unit or anti-crime unit, and I'll show you a city that I don't want to move to. They're highly necessary. Yes, you want them to act professional. Yes, you want them to act within the confines of the law, but I'm telling you, disbanding a street crime unit in a city like Chicago would be one of the biggest mistakes they could ever make.
Why were tactical officers jumping out of an unmarked police car with their guns drawn?
Wrong.
For a simple traffic violation.
See, now that's a legitimate question. See, this is where us cops, we kind of get ourselves in a little pickle here. Because if you are an anti-crime unit, you are a proactive unit. Vehicle and traffic is not in your realm of, daily activity. However, yes, if someone has, doesn't have a seatbelt visible and you feel like you need to stop that car because it is a suspicious vehicle, yes, it makes a legitimate stop by. However, I think us as officers, or particularly any plainclothes unit, stand on your reason for stopping that car. Give other reasons. Don't let it just say it's a seatbelt, because the public don't understand and they call bull crap on it. You got tinted windows on that car. The first thing I'm going to say is, how did you see his seatbelt wasn't on? Stand on your real reason for stopping that car. He was circling the area. He's, known for prior gang activity. For whatever. There's other factors there that the public don't understand. When you throw the old seatbelt, you stop him for a seatbelt or stop him for his air freshener, the public's not buying it. The public's not buying it. Stand on it. Like I said, they're dropping bodies in Chicago every weekend like it's going out of style. And you're highly justified in stopping that vehicle, whether you got vehicle and traffic violation or not. Just say, we stopped that car to check it out. We're a proactive unit. We stopped it to inquire of his business in the area. Period. The public's going to second guess you anyway. Just own it. If you're acting in good faith, you'll be fine.
Of not wearing your seatbelt.
They want the Chicago Police Department to strip the 5 officers involved of their jobs.
That helps
and they say
nobody.
They feel a criminal indictment against some of the officers is also warranted.
It must stop.
Yeah, it should stop,
it ain't
honey.
The first person it happened to. And if it don't be justice, if they not held accountable, it won't be the last person.
Dexter Reed's family did not comment on how a Chicago police officer was also shot and wounded that day. They maintain that Reed was unarmed when he got out of the car as police shot him. In the newsroom, Sabrina Franza, CBS 2 News.
Now, I don't know. That could be the case. And then, as you know, this case is developing, and we may find that other things come to light, and I may have to eat my words. I mean, if he was giving up, and he walked out with his hands up, and there's other evidence to show that, then them cops got some explaining to do. But 96 shots, everybody's caught up on the amount of shots. 96 shots is not a lot. You got 4 officers, and you have an officer that was injured. So shots rang out, and they're in the hail of gunfire, the officers may feel that there's further gunfire coming from that car. So each officer is going to have to explain why they fired the amount of shots that they fired. Yes, that's going to have to be explained. You're responsible for every bullet you let out of that gun. You're responsible for every round. Every round has to be accounted for. But like I said, this is still developing. You know, sorry the young man lost his life, but you take shots at the police, them's the rules. You know, I tell my kids, I raised my boys, and I told them just like my dad told me, you will not win that argument on the side of the road. You are to comply. If they mistreating you, we'll deal with them later, but you are to comply. And trust me, it kept me out of a lot of crap when I was disrespected by the police coming up. And I really appreciate the support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Everyone have a blessed night.